back to the Phoenix and the Chief. I'm Sergeant Stanford, talking with General Walker and Chief Chaddock, aka Phoenix and Chief. Today we're going to shake things up with a visit to our airmen at the Water and Fuels Management as well as the new gravel pit. Thanks to our loyal listeners for your support and feedback. It's always appreciated. Time to get down to business. Let's hear from the Phoenix and the Chief.
Hey, I'd like to start out by talking about General Goldfein's comments. If you guys haven't gone on to either Facebook or the Air Force website to look at the virtual town hall that he did with Chief Wright, there's some goodness in there to listening to some of the questions that came out of that and some of his answers. To be clear, there's a lot of dust to settle about this. He talked about, hey, I think that the stop movement could extend. I think the context of those were him giving his military leader judgment focused on PCSs. That's one of the challenges that we're going to have. There's a lot of news out there that is stateside centric or in garrison centric. And there's just a lot of unanswered questions. What I'd ask the team to do is to continue to focus on what we can control. And as the dominoes fall into place, or as the puzzle pieces fall into place, we'll pass that information. But don't worry about the big policy changes that have yet to happen, because getting caught up in that churn is counterproductive to the mission that we're trying to accomplish here. Similarly, everything is still in a big state of flux, stateside and in the deployment world. So I ask for your sense of humor there and your patience as we continue to sort this out as a base, as a Department of Defense, and as Army and Air Force service members.
Hey, speaking of a way to keep your sense of humor, the MWR is still open. They're continuing to host some events. They've got their karaoke. They've got a little bit of physical distance dancing going on. Social distancing does not mean that you need to be on a social island by yourself. What we're talking about is just putting a little bit of space between you and your fellow airmen or your fellow soldiers. Just come together and make sure that you're still leaning on one another. And we've got some good events. And if there comes a time that we need to close the MWR, that is an option. But right now, it's not something that we're looking forward to. We're still doing some deep cleaning, wiping down the couches, wiping down different equipment. And that's going a long way, just like we're asking you to just do simple things like wash your hands and make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And speaking of washing hands, boss, have you heard what the water fuels maintenance guys and gals have done?
Yeah, it's awesome.
The DFAC just recently had a several $1,000 water treatment system installed. And this particular thing, boss, it works off of ultraviolet light.
How cool is that?
It is the neatest thing I've ever seen. The water that the DFAC is using is coming out of the non-potable water that we have been told not to brush our teeth with. It comes in out of a tank, it hits a filter, and it goes through the first filter. But wait, there's more. It goes through a second filter. But wait, if you order now, which they did, they got an ultraviolet filter, and then it filters through that ultraviolet filter, and it takes out the first two filters, 98% of the particulates, and then when it hits the ultraviolet filter, it takes out 99% of that. That water is so pure. But then it goes through another set of filters. So it's got 4 paper filters and 2 ultraviolet filters. And what that has done, sir, you're as a steward of money, you'll like this. Wait for it. That has saved them 40 to 60 of those water cooler sized bottles daily.
That's great work.
And they're using that to cook with, and they're using that to do different things in the DFAC to make things better. That means they don't have to use a lot of those larger water jugs, and it puts the Golden Winds DFAC on the map as having some of the state-of-the-art technology in the back of the kitchen. Speaking of state-of-the-art technology, what do you say we pat our foot and bend our leg and go see the water fuels folks?
Let's go do it. Hey, it's Brigadier General Walker. I'm out here with Chief. We're on site at a couple of bicons that are clogged up. I'm here with
Senior Airman Marshall
and
Senior Airman Gonzalez.
Where are you from?
I'm from Beale Air Force Base.
Beale and
Eielson Air Force Base.
Eielson.
Yes, sir.
It's just like Eielson here.
Yes, sir.
You feel right at home, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're out here in between 2 bicons, and we're looking at a, what'd you call this?
Ejector station.
An ejector station. So what an ejector station is it collects all of the sewage that comes out of the bicon, and then it pumps it out. And then what happens when you flush your baby wipes?
When you flush your baby wipes down the toilet, They clog up the ejector station pumps, which then back up into the Vicons and make a big mess for everybody.
So this is an instructional recording, and the bottom line is, folks, don't flush your baby wipes, because then the Vicon turns into a mess, and these cats got to come out here in the heat from Eielson Air Force Base and then clean this stuff out.
Woo, that is some good looking.
Somebody ate corn.
Yeah. Who had shrimp?
We'll take the impeller off the housing of the pump, and then we'll manually pull all the baby wipes out.
Okay.
So how often do we get other people to come out here and help us? Like when we have this situation, when we have Operation Baby Wipe Removal, and ISIS on PSAB is baby wipes, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the Al Qaeda that we're fighting
Right.
here in the water fuels
It is.
systems world.
Well, anybody's welcome to come out and help us, that's for sure.
So it's a leadership issue or a followership issue.
Followership, definitely.
Followership, definitely. Yeah, good stuff. That is like 7 kinds of bleh.
Oh yeah.
Is this your number one problem right here? If you had to rank all your problems that you have throughout the day or the week, is this it?
This is my number one problem right now.
Yeah, so that's the standard. The standard is only flush stuff that comes out of your body, not stuff that comes out of a bag or a piece of plastic. So the toilet paper and the baby wipes are both a no-go when you hit the flushing handle. Make sure that you're not doing that, because you create a little bit of a problem, not just for yourself, but you're creating a problem for the rest of the team here at PSAB.
Guys, what's your message to the average soldier and airman on PSAP?
Stop flushing baby wipes down the toilet.
Yeah.
I would just ask to be considerate and put those baby wipes in the trash, man. I know everybody wants to use baby wipes, but if you could help us out, we greatly appreciate it.
Yep, I think that's the bottom line here, folks. First of all, thanks to you, gents, for keeping the plumbing going. You know, we really appreciate what you're doing, and you know, you're like chapter 1 of Mike Rowe's Dirty Jobs. But thanks for keeping a smile on your face and out here in the 100-degree heat working on this. And again, folks, you know, to the man in the sand, don't flush your baby wipes. Use them and throw them away.
Hey, Chief, since we're out and about, do you want to go into the gravel pit and get a man in the sand question? While we're there, you want to grab a sandwich?
I'll tell you what, I'll buy. So 2 of our EODers are in here. We're doing a podcast for Phoenix and the Chief, and we want to know if you have any questions. If you got any questions, let's talk about them. So,
I think the only thing I question every day is, when am I going home?
okay, so right now we got the stop movement.
Yep.
The line in the sand right now is 24 May, unless something shifts. Now, General Goldfein came out the other day and he said that he potentially sees it shifting a little bit. But here's why. So we got a global transportation system, air and cargo movements still happening. And so we're trying to move a lot of people in a certain amount of time. So what you potentially will see, because the slinky is kinked, meaning the transportation slinky is kind of kinked, you'll see that maybe around 24 May, we will have arranged some contract airflow, maybe like a Delta 767 or something like that. No guarantees on that, but we're already starting to plan for that right now. You insert a date. So we're going to put together a Tiger team to try to figure out how we can get our plan into the hands of Ascent so that we have at least a voice from all our people here. Because we know that everybody's ready to get on with their life, to get back to their wife, their husband, their kids, whoever their spouse is, or honeydew, water, wine, melon, drippling, whatever that's going on in their world, they want to get back to it. So here's the bottom line. 24 May, we're working it to try to get it somewhere close to that date right now. Knock on wood. Hey, this is Chief Chaddock signing off for Phoenix in the Sand. I'm going to kick it over back to you, Sergeant Stafford.
Thanks for the sandwich, and thanks for the questions, guys. Stay tuned for the next podcast, April 22nd. Until next time, stay sandy and stay healthy.